Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Football Analytics and Rant Show. And as you all know, the European football season has started, and we are here to give our predictions for the top 4 leagues and also the ISL. I'm sorry, League One fans, if anybody is in there. I think the hype around League One is gone, so rest of the leagues look much more exciting as of now. I mean, if you want us to talk, you can please comment. If you're not commenting, you won't know. So yeah, we'll start off with the Premier League. I think the Premier League has started last week or so. The first round of games are over, and I think both City and Arsenal, I think, who finished top 2 last year, I think both of them have won their first game. And so what we'll go through is like favorites, then what is there?
Favorites, dark horses, most improved team on paper, and the team that needs most improved. Also on paper only.
Okay, on paper, because the season has just started. So whatever predictions could go upside down could happen correctly, because it's early and we are not like extreme experts of things. This is our personal opinions and based on what we've seen. Okay.
Fair enough.
So we'll start with favorites.
Who do you think are the favorites to win the league title this season, sir? Who do you think?
I don't know.
Honest opinion.
My honest opinion. So like, not to disappoint Arsenal fans, I think City is still the favorite.
Fair enough.
You will say, okay, you have experience or matured or something, but still it's very, unless and until you overcome the challenge of City or beat them convincingly, which they have not done in the last season. Wherever else they would have shined, they haven't done. And also trying to now it's more difficult trying to manage consistently, because you have consecutively qualified for the Champions League and managing that along with the title condition. Now you are back in the big leagues right now, so it will be difficult for some time. Hopefully they compete. It is good for them, good for their fans. I do think that they can win a trophy, could be anything, but league title, I think I'll give it to City, I guess. And second one, dark horses. There are not particularly any teams that's coming in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, you can take a look at this list. Anything that pops up to you, pops out to you at least.
I mean, dark horses as in, I would love to tell Tottenham, but they choke. So
Well,
I think
they have to be consistent throughout the season if they actually have to be considered as dark horses.
Okay.
Among these teams, who do you think can play consistently throughout the season to actually emerge?
The thing is,
at least among the top 3, they have to finish it.
Okay, so according to me, I think the two right now currently title contenders, other than City, is Arsenal. Okay, and if I were to bring another team in, I would bring in Liverpool, based on their signings and where they finished last year. So these are the teams I personally think who will go there. And to come up with the dark horse, I think lest everybody, the rest of the big 6 are almost on the same level. I won't give anybody an extra advantage.
For you, an exception. Let's not say dark horses. Who do you think will be surprising? I mean, they will overachieve. They'll over-exceed your expectations.
Over-exceed expectations. I mean, there are a lot of teams that is there. I mean, Aston Villa.
You could expect them to be in a relegation battle, but they finished top table. That also is over-exceeding expectations. You're expecting them to finish 15th, they finished 8th.
So I have little high expectations for Leicester City, because they came back. They came back very convincingly, and hopefully they don't win the winter window if they don't overspend and stick to their game. I know right now as the points stand, they're in the bottom half, but I think they have capability of at least finishing in the top 6 or 7 at least. That is quite high, but yeah. And another team I'd say is okay, you want a dark horse or thing? I'll still say Newcastle. Could go bad or could go wrong. I mean, they have the potential. If you look at the squad, they have the potential. They have the potential to I won't say they'll win the title, at least finish in the top 4.
Okay, so we'll change the name of this segment from dark horses to team that you could be surprised by.
Okay.
So then that's Newcastle. We don't expect much from them, but you're expecting them to do well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
For me, surprise factor. For me, it's like a tie between Leicester and Newcastle.
okay, so then who would be your most improved team in that league this season?
Most improved team.
Chelsea signed so many players; they definitely have to be improved, don't they?
Yeah, on paper, they have the strong, like not what's like most expensive team. Most expensive team. I think the whole world. I think they're the most expensive team. If I'm not wrong. Or into either they're in one or two. If I'm not wrong. Last time I checked the transfer market, but it doesn't look convincing. I think the Conference League. If you haven't known Conference League, every team has to go through a playoff round, which regardless of which league you come from. So apparently Chelsea barely made it through that.
Yeah,
it seems
they
like
won one and they drew one. So
they made it. They actually lost on one leg, and they because of that win in the other leg. Overall, in aggregate, they went through against a team that is like not even like 1 in 100th of its market value compared to. I made a reference earlier in our previous video when it comes earlier. Chelsea's market value is at least 500 million more than all the other teams in the Conference League combined.
Let's not go into that. Dark horses. They'll think we are hating on their clubs.
Dark horses, I mean...
not dark horses, sorry. This was the most improved team. Most improved.
Based
on how their transfer window went.
Okay, most improved team, let's say...
On paper.
Based on transfer window, I think Liverpool had a quite decent transfer window. At least...
They didn't. They signed like one player.
I mean, they have a decent squad, sir. The thing is with the competition behind.
No, so you have to consider how the team that they had last season.
Okay.
And compared to this season, after this transfer window, how good they seem. So yes, they have a new manager, so technically it could be more exciting.
I think, okay, this is from my perspective, I don't know how much. I think there was not much of like you could do on that team. There were only like few tweaks. Still, I'm telling, I don't think like they are going to win as such, current standing. But I do think like compared to where they finished, like when Klopp left or that thing, I think they are on the right trajectory. At least in sort of at least in terms of the Chiesa signing, I didn't expect that, and I didn't expect UA to give him also.
For that cheap.
That cheap also. So it could be a make or break. If Chiesa is like that sort of player, like I don't know. If on his day he can change the game. Like if you watch Italy's like Euro Championship, that guy was the game changer. Also he has potential, he has the talent. Now he has to leave the controversy which he was in earlier. I'm not going directly into that. Like he was in a little bit of like legal battles recently. I think when he was in Juventus, and there was the point that he was going to get arrested. If you want, we'll cover on detail on that. So as long as he doesn't go into other additional issues, if he just focuses on football, I think he's a very good asset. And even United are actually making a lot of signings, but it's still on the pitch I have to see something. And given their game so far, I'm not convinced at all, because as currently I think they stand in 14th place, even though they played
a small sample size. We're not going to go based on that.
Fair enough. So if you look at the table right now, that's why I can't find who is the like.
It's okay. You can just make a prediction. It doesn't matter.
Because if you look at the table right now, top 1 to 4, okay, it makes sense. But if you go to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and all, you don't see any of the big 6 teams. Like you don't see your Spurs, you don't see your Chelsea, you don't see your United, and to some extent you don't see Newcastle also there. So right now it is quite early, but one thing I'll sure is like City and Arsenal will be towards the end. Liverpool, if they get things right, they could mix it up. That'll be interesting. If a third team comes in, then it is all about mentality at this point. So it will be more pressure. If there is no pressure, then these other two teams have to only worry about each other.
So most improved on paper would be?
I'd say because the sample size I'm telling, and because I don't think like any team had like a very good transfer window.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there are like 2 teams that are way beyond like the rest of the competition at this right now. So I'd say Liverpool only.
Okay, so team that needs the most improving?
Chelsea.
Okay, that is a hot take.
Because not because of the you sign every player, you replace it, you have. I know, I understand the thing, but if you keep on changing the squad randomly, where will the chemistry develop? You stick with trust some of the players. Like you can't. I don't know. It's maybe the owners. Like you can't like randomly buy success now because there are a lot of teams who can do the same thing you can do in that league.
Fair, yeah.
So you are not going to win on money alone. So you need to trust the squad and build the squad. Best example I'd say is PSG and the amount of money they splashed, and where did they end up? They even lost the league which they had in their hands in one of those seasons. So I think they need to get it together, like build a consistent team. I think right now they have the most number of players or something. They have like some 39 registered players right now, and there are like shit ton of more, like another 20-40 players they have in loan. So there are a lot of players they have, and if to be honest to them, they actually have like a decent academy system, which I don't think they've used that much ever since the new takeover, because they've just been buying over shines. I don't know what happened to Nkunku also.
He's been injured for a long time.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand injuries are there, but then you have so many players, it's high time you perform. And like you can't just sit there with the most expensive squad in the world, randomly keep buying players, and you can't just blame players all the time. I mean, they did perform somewhere else. It could be the system, it could be like something to do with like how the mentality of the club is right now.
Interesting.
So, and on the same context also, I would like to talk about United also, because see, it's not, I'm not hating on something, like because these both teams are underperforming, especially in last season. You all know what United did in the Champions League. They ended up finishing from second. They went to last bottom of the group. They didn't even go for Europa League. Chelsea also similarly, they were not impressive at first. They were so bad in the league that they had to last minute they qualified for the Conference League. At one point, even that spot was not confirmed. So these are the teams I think who need to improve, given like the stature of the clubs or given the amount of money they've invested over the current transfer window. Especially United, had so many signings they've been getting done.
They just got Sancho today, so
yeah.
They just sold Sancho. Chelsea got Sancho. Yeah.
So that is my take. So what is your I do not follow the Premier League as much as this thing. So there might be variations on let's say my opinions or this thing. So please think these are my personal opinions.
I won't go into that much depth. Don't worry. I'll give you a very short,
so
concise.
He actually follows better than me from the PL.
A little bit, because I like Liverpool, but I think the favourites to win the title this year are again, no surprise, Man City, because they are consistent and their team hasn't weakened much.
Yeah.
Of course, they haven't strengthened in their striker position, so if Haaland does get injured, it poses a little bit of a problem, but I think the other people can step up fairly well enough. On the other hand, Gundogan is back, so even if KDB is not there, that playmaking, that arriving in the box area is sorted out. Julian Alvarez leaving is actually not a great thing, but Savinho came from Girona like we had predicted, and he's good on the right flank. He's like Mahrez, he has the speed, he has the dribbling, he has the vision. He just needs some time to adapt, and he needs experience, because he's a young player. He needs a little bit of Premier League experience, actually first team football experience, to get a little better with decision making, but I think that will come eventually. Other than that, Man City is my favourites to win. I think the team that looks what was that? The team that I think will surprise everyone the most,
or the dark horses.
The dark horses, or for that matter, the team that will surprise everyone the most. I think again I would like to pick Aston Villa. Last season they were very good. They overperformed what we expected them to do. But this year they'll have to contend with playing European football at the same time as this. I mean, last year also they did, and they managed pretty well. So I think Aston Villa will do really well, but I
made some quite decent signings also.
They actually made good. It's okay, I don't want to get into who all they sold off and all that. There were some decisions that I thought was stupid, but Unai Emery is a much better manager than me, and he's proven himself on the big game. I'm just some random guy talking, so he might have some plan, and I'm pretty sure. And the owners are actually willing to back him, so which is a good thing. They're trusting him, and they're trying to bring that environment of stability around that club. So I think because of those virtues alone, they will overperform what our expectations are. So naturally for Villa, you will expect at least mid-table or at least the top half of the table. But I'm expecting at least a top 5, top 6 finish for them this season. That is what I'm predicting. And I'm pretty sure they will do it because he's a very good man manager, Unai Emery. His tactics are good.
Yeah.
He's very adaptable. He's very flexible. So I think Aston Villa will do well.
Yeah.
But I think a close second is Liverpool because even though they have a more or less the same team, there is now a different manager. Klopp actually liked using a lot of the academy graduates.
Yeah.
Slot is a little bit reluctant, at least as far as I can see, a little bit more reluctant than Klopp to play
Experiment.
his, academy signing because his style of playing is a little bit different from Klopp. He of course liked pressing a lot and playing with intensity and stuff, but if you watch the game,
so that is a similarity between both of them.
that's the only similarity: the pressing, the intensity and the pressing.
Okay.
But Slot is not that heavy on possession. So this Liverpool team, even though they like possession,
Okay.
they're still comfortable outside of possession. In the 2-3 games that I've seen a few preseason games.
They're
also.
happy to like sit
They're
back.
comfortable.
Okay.
They don't panic the second they don't have the ball. So that's a good thing. And yeah, I don't want to get too much into Liverpool. They had a very weak transfer window, but they got Chiesa right towards the end, so that's a good thing. I don't know, our focus is hunting. I'm trying to lock focus. Okay, yeah, focus is locked. Now, the team that is most improved on paper, in my opinion, is Manchester United.
Okay.
They have made quite a few interesting signings.
Okay.
They've got Delict, they've got Mazraoui,
Okay.
they've got Zirkzee.
Yeah. A lot of former Bayern players.
It's like reuniting the Ajax gang back together.
Yeah.
If
you don't know, all these players played for Bayern at one point. And 2 of them were playing for Bayern last year also.
Yeah, so.
And the one that surprised me most was the Delict signing.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand how
Everybody, to be fair, from everybody from the Bayern fans' perspective or from everywhere, is extremely pissed with the management. And
there's a new board that took over now, no? After they sacked
yes.
Nagelsmann and the Tuchel thing happened.
No, the problem was Delict was one of the better players. Delict was one of the better players.
I would prefer him to Upamecano any day.
Upamecano and even Kim Min-jae also.
So
all of us were expecting at least Kim Min-jae or Upamecano to leave. The best part is even Eric Dyer stayed, and that probably could have been due to the salary because Eric Dyer's wages are quite low compared to Delict. And what the sources are telling, I think it's.
But technically, Delict is among the best defenders on this planet right now, especially for his age and that profile.
No, the problem is the wages and him getting injured in between like crucial times. Although last season he was there like throughout most of the season, like he had small injury spurts, but it was not that big compared to the season before.
Fair. No, but still his move to United was very surprising.
Yeah.
But on paper, at least, Ten Hag has finally, I think this is his 3rd season now, he's finally got the core group of players that he wants.
Yeah.
And even in midfield he's strengthened. I don't want to go into all the players they've signed a good bunch.
Yeah.
So right now they seem stacked. So there should not be any more excuses left to say, okay, we don't have this if we had this. Of course, any team can be a little bit better all the time. Given the resources he has right now, I think he's gotten a good team right now.
Yeah.
And this is a team that he has now.
Yeah.
He built it now. He has been working with this group for 3 years.
Yeah.
And Ineos is now finally group of people with good brains who are managing United. I don't care I don't like that club, I don't like that institution, but I have to be fair, the previous management was dog. So compared to that, I think what is happening right now is a lot better. So Ineos is here and I think it's for the better for United. So I think the most improved team on paper is United, and I think it's about time that Ten Hag stops making excuses and starts providing the results that the fans want, that the management trusted him with getting what players he wants.
Okay.
So now they have trusted him, now it's his turn to give the results, and if he doesn't, I think this is his last and he will move on to somewhere else.
Okay.
And the team that needs the most improving, and this one I will side with Jithu, Chelsea. You have signed, I know like your manager, see now Enzo Maresca has come out and said that Raheem Sterling, Chalobah and all are not in my plans. Even if they stay, they're not going to play. I understand you have a certain profile of players in this thing, but these are people who are earning enormous wages. Raheem Sterling earns a lot from them, and you're trying to send him out on loan, and eventually he did join Arsenal today on loan. So I don't understand why that is happening. First of all, there's no managerial stability.
Yeah.
Every manager who comes brings his own identity into his own thought process. He wants to instill that identity into the club throughout.
And before you know it, he's gone.
Yeah, every time you're getting a new manager, you're trying to change that. So I understand now. See, according to that, this tactic is good. You give them 100 players, he will choose his. So he can get a good 11 out of 100. That's a success rate. The odds of having success rate are the hit rate is much better when you have a 100 player sample size.
Fair enough.
So technically, yeah. So I was watching another video in that they were talking about how this year or the next transfer window is the last time they're going to spend that much money and then they have to manage with this or whatever that is. But you have so many good players, and this is a manager, according to me, who has not proven himself at the top level, which is again a very risky signing. And for a club that is spending so much on their players, should have spent a little bit more and gotten someone better, in my opinion. So no matter how many signings you have made to strengthen yourself, now Sancho has also joined them.
Yeah.
No matter how many signings you have, you are making to make your team better, it's the manager who gets to decide what players are going to play, what style they are going to play, how they are going to play. Everything is the manager. So no matter how good the players are, the manager has to be good. And as of now, Enzo Maresca doesn't seem to be that good. I've watched the 2-3 odd Chelsea games that they have played, and it doesn't seem that impressive. Hopefully I'm wrong and it gets better. So the team that needs most improving, unfortunately, despite spending a lot of money, is still Chelsea, in my opinion. We'll move on to the next league. We are already 20 minutes in and we are only talking about the Premier League. Yes.
So next league,
Bundesliga.
yes.
We'll be fast. Just pick 4 teams.